Okay, the first question we really had was what percent of the students graduate within 4 years?
A lot of our students are transfer students, so unfortunately, based on the way that the Department of Education calculates graduation rates, they only look at full time, first time freshmen. So, unfortunately for us, that's a lower percentage than the amount of transfer students that we're bringing in. So, for instance, this graduating class that we just had in May, we had about 157 graduates, which is one of the largest graduating classes we've had in the last 35 years, but unfortunately, a majority of the students were transfer students, so they will never count towards our graduation rate. Any student that also leaves the university and graduates from another institution also doesn't count for us. So, unfortunately for us, it's a little bit low right now. But we're working a lot with a lot of the new offices on campus, like Student Support Services, Office of Retention, Office of Financial Assistance, and the Office of Academic Success to really support our first time freshmen to help get that number up.
Okay.
Have you all ever tried to come up with a plan to get come up with a plan so students can stay here so you all can have that so you all can reach a goal as far as a graduation rate?
Absolutely. So a lot of that work comes out of the Office of Retention. And so Miss Sabrina Brown manages the system that we call the Early Alert System, and that allows any staff members, coaches, financial aid counselors, faculty members to be able to send alerts to Miss Brown for any kind of concern that they may have about a student. I haven't seen them in a while, they seem like they may be depressed or having financial aid issues, and Miss Brown fields all those requests and connects the students to appropriate meetings with the appropriate staff member or faculty member, so that we're not waiting till midterms or finals when a lot of times at that point it's too late. So that's a new office this year and a new program that we're using, and so hopefully we'll see some good results from that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, the second question is what are the college's what's the college most important values and how does it demonstrate this particularly important value to its students?
Sure, sure. So a slogan that we like to use a lot around here is student focused, student driven, and student centered. So as staff members, when we think about different policies and processes that we have, we always try to keep the student in mind. So from an admissions standpoint, that means is the information that we're communicating to students clear in a way that you understand, whether everyone in your family has gone to college or whether you're the first student in your family to go to college. Is what we're saying, do we break it down well? Does it make sense? Is there a very clear path through the admissions process for you? Are we responsive to you? Is our website easy to navigate? Are we engaging you on social media or through video? Is our marketing material engaging? So everything that we do should be with the student in mind, and that's what we aim, and those are just some of the ways for my area that we try to align with that mission.
And to piggyback off that, do you all, I guess, have a statistic of you all going and doing those things, and does that bring more students in, or does it
I guess it just seems that do y'all track the progress of the marketing material or certain things that you do for certain situations?
Sure. So there are some ways that we can track how well we're communicating that information. Print, it's a little more difficult because there's nothing tracking it when we mail you a brochure or you meet us at a college fair and you take a view book. But for things like our emails that go out, we can monitor how many students are clicking on it, how many are opening it, how many open it multiple times, so they're referring back to that information. We could monitor things like the call volume we get in the office. It's a little harder to determine where those calls are coming from or why. Sometimes people are just calling our office because it's easy and it has nothing to do with admissions. Sometimes students are calling because they have several questions about admission. So it's a little hard to gauge that way, but we can kind of use that as an indicator of how well we're communicating information. If students have to call us a lot, that's probably not a good thing. When students come into our office, they sign in and they indicate what's their reason for visiting admissions, and then they receive a follow-up survey. So we have a dashboard where we can monitor our service level on a scale from 1 to 5, as well as anecdotal feedback that they provide, any comments about their service while they were in the admissions office, so we monitor that. We can also monitor the Google Analytics, so see from page to page on the admissions section of the website, how many times people are viewing it. Are there some sections they're viewing more than others, and different things like that. And then I know you guys worked with my intern for the summer who did a survey with you as the students who are most recently going through the admissions process, and for each step of the process, how well we engaged you and were informative with you and served you during that. So it's a lot of different pieces of information floating around that we can use to kind of see how we're doing and hopefully make improvements from there.
Do you guys take advantage of the pixel standpoint of the marketing aspect?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say you click on like Hairstyle State University web homepage, then they leave like an ad that come back and follow them to a page they're on.
Kind of like geotag marketing. I know that's something with our last communications director we had started to talk about. She's no longer with the university, and so we have someone new, so that's just a conversation that we need to re-engage with, because that's, especially for this region, that's where we're most popular, as well as some of the major urban markets, Memphis, Kansas City, Detroit, Chicago. So that would be a great way in people's Facebook news feeds and different things like that, that our ads can pop up, or when they Google HBCU within a certain area, we're one of the first names that pop up. So there are a whole bunch of different techie things we could do. Could cost money, but those are things we've definitely talked about for sure.
Okay.
Good question.
How do you guys help students prepare for post-grad deployment?
Absolutely. So we have a great Center of Career Engagement located on the floor above us. And Dr. Collins and her team do a great job of working with faculty to start identifying opportunities for students way before they graduate. And that looks like a number of different things. You'll see this year we have a graduate school and career fair. This past year we had about 75 employers here in graduate schools on campus that day in the gym, college fair style. Students had the ability to walk around, bring their resumes, and some places were hiring right on the spot. I know I talked to one organization, College Bound, they had 18 openings that day. So people are coming ready to hire bright students of color, and so that's a great opportunity for students to take advantage of. Center for Career Engagement also works with faculty in identifying internship opportunities, as well as alumni affairs. A lot of our alumni like to come back and find students in that major, that industry, interested in that industry that they work in, to connect them with opportunities as freshmen, sophomores, juniors. And then they do all the typical things, mock interviews. They'll review your resume for you. If you don't have clothes for an interview, they'll help. I know they've partnered with Men's Warehouse and different organizations like that to provide clothing for students who need that, so that they're dressed well for those kind of opportunities. So there's a lot of different things that they offer. It just takes students to actively engage in it. We're not going to require that. Some majors do. But for the most part, that's something for your benefit that we offer, and it's just up to you to take advantage.
I know this hairstyle is very big on relationships, so when it comes to something like that, do you all, does relationships and the student's personality play a role or factor in looking for what type of job they might want, or is it on their major, or what do you decide?
Yeah, so for a lot of opportunities, we're limited in how many students we can offer those opportunities to. So it's definitely a benefit to students to be very engaged with the faculty in your department and to make those relationships with staff members. I was at the National Urban League Conference last week, and I met two women from an organization who have this career conference that they do only for HBCU students. They pay for everything. It's just a matter of us identifying and presenting students to them. So for those kind of opportunities where we can only give it to a handful of students, you're more likely to be someone nominated for that opportunity if we know who you are, your grades are good, you're involved, you're mannerable, you speak, and those kind of things. So a lot of times it's based on referral and who you know, and not so much your talent or knowledge. But if we know you'll represent us well, you'll move to the top of the list pretty quickly for those kind of opportunities.
Thank you.
Do you guys have an active alumni network, like currently?
We do, especially in this area. Harris-Stowe has a really unique history, and while many of the alumni I know that I come in contact with are educators, especially here in St. Louis, I meet alumni from all kind of different industries, but they not only come back for things like internship opportunities and special events on campus, homecoming and things like that, But I've had alumni recently reach out to me wanting to help with recruitment. So, what better way to engage prospective students than people who have come to Harris Stowe, had a good experience, and are now really successful, and can not only share that experience with you, but help you one day be in that place too. So, they're quite engaged.
Do you think if you had more alumni come back to help as far as, like you say, recruitment or financial aid or something like that, do you think by their experience when they were here, do you think that will help, I guess, enrollment, or what do you think will?
Absolutely. I mean, alumni are our biggest testimony to what we have to offer here because they are the finished product. So, any way that we can think of new ways to get alumni engaged other than just writing a check, which is great because they do, and it gives us the opportunity to give to students in need and help support you financially in attaining your education, the more alumni are involved can only help, in my opinion.
Okay, do IB and AP courses matter?
Absolutely. We are always encouraging students to take advantage of opportunities as high school students where they can gain college credit in the process. So, not just advanced placement, not just international baccalaureate programs, but dual enrollment as well. We encourage high school students to go to their local community college, take some of the basic courses biology, English, math, Spanish, public speaking. Things that if they get a C or better, they can transfer to Harris Stowe and save themselves time and money. Same thing with IB programs, AP programs. When they score well on those tests, they can also get credit here at Harris Stowe. So anything for students to save money and get in and get out and get to their careers is definitely what we want to support them in doing.
I wish I would have knew about that.